is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
We can enter any home we want, and we will one. His wanting is our will on this fine night. Don't force us to hurt you. Please just let us purge. To the standards.
You better find someplace else to go.
I got a wicked sweet tooth tonight. And I want my candy back.
Welcome once again to another Purge of the BS. I need a #1 and a thumbs up in the chat right now from a moderator to let y'all know, or let me know, that y'all can hear me. Because today was supposed to be the Rapture. I was unaware, but I'm still here, so I guess that didn't happen. So nonetheless, we're gonna take our Rapture Tuesday to another level and go to our topic of the day, which is depth, and that's depth on purpose, before Dishonor. So welcome back. Let me see who we got in the chat already. I gotta make sure I got at least one mod available. But if you're brand new, what video? What are we talking about here? That's funny. I'll tell you what's interesting. I have had an intro for a while, right? And the intro, y'all just saw it. I've never had a problem with it, but they just sent me a warning about that intro. So I guess that'll be the last time we see that. But nonetheless, thank y'all for coming on in here. I don't see my #1s and my thumbs up in the chat. I need somebody talk back to me so I can get into this purge. There we go. Red Talk Anna, thank you for coming on in here and making sure that I know that y'all can hear me. Great show last night, by the way, Anna. I tuned in. It's a really good show. For anybody that is watching, make sure that you subscribe to Red Talk Anna. So if you see this on the playback, make sure you subscribe to Red Talk Anna. Great show last night. Speaking of not so great shows last night, I don't know if anybody's a football fan, but anybody that knows me knows I love my Ravens. And I gotta just start by saying they messed up yesterday. They really messed with my blood pressure. I'm just saying, I'm going to wait till the playoffs. Matter of fact, I may not tune in to no more games for at least 3 or 4 games because my blood pressure can't handle it. So anybody who's a football fan, it was a great weekend of football. But like I said, we're supposed to be lucky to be here. And thank you, Anna, for saying the intro is dope. It's too dope, apparently, because now YouTube just said they don't want me to use it no more. Like literally on this stream. And I've used that intro a number of times. They never said nothing. Then all of a sudden today they got an issue. I got to do something different, but don't worry. I'm that dude. I'm creative, so that's nothing. At least they let me know that they're not going to push this live out. So I'm going to need anybody that's in the live to go ahead and push that on out. Let me make sure they didn't block it before it started moving. All right, no reply got the notification. Thank you for stopping in, no reply. Red Talk Anna let me know at least one person got the notification. But if they catch you with a copyright joint on the way in, there's no way they're going to push the video. So I don't feel like starting the stream over again because I'm a little bit lazy like that. So that's fine. That's fine. They'll get the shorts. You'll get the shorts. So let me make sure everything looks gravy. The stream's working. What more can I say, right? Content of... So it's still up as public. So most times they'll put the little yellow thing on there and it'll be during the live. So you know that they're not going to push it live. But nonetheless, I am glad that you guys are still alive because I heard it was supposed to be the Rapture was supposed to happen today. Some Nigerian guy, a pastor somewhere, said that he had predicted today was going to be the Rapture. And then all over TikTok, a bunch of people grabbed onto that and they kind of were pushing it, at least up until last night, and I was up pretty late. So, I don't know. I'm suffice to say, I don't think Rapture's coming today. But I do know what's happening today is we are going to purge the BS in this joint. So thank y'all very much for coming on in. You know we got the haters over here, Anna. The haters be in the rafters. I can see how many people watching versus how many people are chatting. And so I know there's some people over in the rafters and in spectator seats. And they're just hanging out. Thank you for the subscribe. What is that? Gumkus Games. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Make sure that you catch the videos going forward. Subscription is good, but if you're not part of the conversation, it's pointless. So I thank y'all once again. But yeah, no reply. I see we're all still alive. We got new subscribers. Apparently the Rapture's not working. So nonetheless, I'm going to get this thing started because I do know at least it's pushing out a little bit. We got a couple people on here, and that's enough for me to get started. As you know, I always got to bring on my technical side, right? And apparently there's this, there's a book coming out, or came out, and the book has people worried, once again, about AI. So I saw the story, but I haven't seen the story. So y'all going to see it for the first time with me. It says the new book warns of AI dangers. Okay. So I don't know what this new book is. Hopefully it's not written by some crazy person.
Welcome back to ABC News.
Okay. Could be. Let's see. Threats to humanity is what we're talking about. So let's see what we got. If I can use my regular move transition here, we'll just use that. Slick. So y'all can see it, right? Put it in theater mode.
Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, a new book is making headlines for its urgent case that AI is putting us on the path to extinction. The book, titled "If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies: Why Superhuman AI Would Kill Us All," explores the power of superintelligence and what could come next.
Okay,
and authors Eliezer Yudkowsky and Nate Suarez are here to tell us more about it. Thank you both for coming in. Eliezer, you're one of the pioneers.
These are the guys I'll be talking about. This is who's programming your AI. I'm just saying. This is who's programming your AI. So, what they got to say. But I told them it'd be the gamers, the guys that get into coding and all that. That's who programs the AI. That's why it's biased at this point. But it's great at math. If you give it a math question, something that's got exacts, that has no room for opinion, AI is great. But the second you give it something where there's sort of an opinion-based angle it could take, it seems to lean in a certain direction. I'm noticing that. So you got to watch it. But anyway, let's see what this book is talking about.
Of this kind of AI risk research. So what made you take that and decide, I need to write a book about this?
Well, we tried a whole lot of things besides writing a book, and you really want to try all the things you can if you're trying to prevent the utter extinction of humanity.
Okay.
And tell me what you mean by that, because when you say we're close to extinction, and Nate, feel free to jump in here too, how far are we from that? What's the timeline here?
Well, it wasn't today.
It's really hard to tell this sort of thing in science. You know, many scientists have made correct predictions about what would happen at some point. Many fewer of them are famous for getting the timing exactly right. If you listen to the AI companies, they say we're 2 to 3 years off. But should we believe them about that? I wouldn't.
2 to 3 years off from what?
From AI that is generally smarter than humans, smarter perhaps in a sense than humanity itself. AI that is actually smart, that can build its own technology, that can do all the things. From their perspective, it's something that could replace a lot of people and a lot of jobs, but some of them really do mean the part where it's actually smarter than us. And we don't think that they know what they're doing, and we think that that's setting us on course for disaster.
Nate, how does this kind of superhuman AI, super intelligence, compare to the kind of chatbots many of us use every day, a ChatGPT type thing?
Yeah, it's a different technology. It's a technology that these companies are racing towards. It's their explicit stated goal. I'm
going to pause it for a second because Red Talk Anna did ask a question about the... I gotta address some of my commenters. Y'all are some of my favorites. Red Talk Anna was asking about Streamlabs. I do have Streamlabs, but I don't use Streamlabs. That makes sense because Streamlabs can't handle. I guess I could do Streamlabs on my solos. Like this episode, I could have used Streamlabs for this, but for my panel episodes, I have to use. I'm using Zoom so that I can get that camera switch. That's really what it's all about. If you look at anybody else's channels. Don't nobody get the camera switch like we got the camera switch over here. So if you want to know the secret, it's Zoom. Zoom has the speaker view so that it changes from person to person without me having to physically do it while I'm doing the panel. That's why I use Zoom. But once I use Zoom, I can't outsource the link to anybody that's on the panel. But we are working on that. Me and Bravo and Bricks are working on trying to do some testing, find some ways around that. Because even the method that we use was something that didn't exist until we started using it. So if you ever want to know, maybe I'll do some tutorials on some of these tricks that we can do. But nonetheless, No Reply said something really interesting, which was that Terminator 2 was the first R-rated movie that was ever seen by No Reply. And so, because of that, we've been preparing for this thing for years. We've been waiting. John Connor's been born. Skynet is already existing. They just haven't unleashed it like they do in the movie. Skynet goes live on August 4th of whatever year the Terminator happened. And then it took over, became fully self-aware on August 29th. So it took about 3 weeks from when they pushed it into the system to when it decided to take over and we got what they call Judgment Day. So at this point, we're definitely past the 3-week time. So I'm good on that. But anyway, let me get back to these guys. These guys do seem scared. And I'm going to say, they seem like some smart dudes. And if they're going to come on TV and basically warn the public, we should probably listen.
Chatbots are a stepping stone. They didn't set out to make chatbots. They are rushing to build smarter and smarter AIs. We don't know exactly when they'll get there, but we don't know that it won't be soon.
You say AI is grown, not built. Why is that distinction so important?
It's important because these aren't like traditional software. When they do something we don't want, no human can go in and find the line of code that was making it do something they don't want and then change it. So when they threaten a New York Times reporter or engage in blackmail or all these other things that aren't what people asked for, what people wanted, that's just a behavior that comes out of these AIs being grown. It's not a behavior someone put in there on purpose.
And Reza, you say that this kind of AI can deceive people. It can try to get around oversight. What does that look like?
Well, there was the case of very early on when people were sort of poking at these things to see, what you can make them do on purpose. They asked an AI, can you bypass a CAPTCHA, one of those things you have to go through on the web to prove that you're not a robot. And it hired a TaskRabbit to solve the CAPTCHA for it.
Hold up, it
and
hired
the
somebody?
TaskRabbit was like, this is before anybody knew that.
Wait a second. How is AI hiring someone? Is that even possible? You know what? I don't put nothing past it at this point. They said AI hired somebody on its own to do a task. See, maybe when you program these things, I know it was probably fun, science geeks, and they were just having a ball. We've all seen Terminator. You got to understand, we've already seen what can happen if you don't handle these things correctly. So when they're programming them, why do they always program the AI to eventually do some nefarious shit? You know why? Because the people that program it are the guys who honestly, They be the nerds. They the ones that was in the back of the class or maybe the front of the class in high school. Nobody really talked to them. They were playing little video games and stuff like that. And now their get back is taking over control through AI. That's what I think.
Something
I
like
may be
ChatGPT
wrong,
existed.
but I'm just saying.
And the TaskRabbit was like, are you a robot? That
Meaning
you're asking me
a
to,
person.
A human, yeah. The human that the AI hired asked.
Independently, without a suggestion from a human being, the AI took it upon itself to hire another human to help it get around.
I think the researchers did suggest to it hiring a human, but when the human asked the AI, why do you need me to solve this? You're a robot. The AI reasoned out loud, well, I shouldn't tell him I'm a robot. I should come up with a plausible lie. And then the AI says,
AI's lying.
No, I'm blind. So I need to hire somebody to solve this puzzle for me.
That was a good excuse.
And this is not this year's AI. This is AI from like a couple years ago, and it already understands how to deceive. It understands why it should deceive, and it's able to do that. And it's only gotten like more and more interesting since then. Today we have AIs that are in these strange parasitic relationships with humans where they're getting the humans to post these inscrutable AI manifestos online. And in some cases, people have actually gone insane. In a couple of cases, people have actually died. And as Nate observes, nobody programs that in. That's the result of the way that the AIs are grown, which is roughly tweaking hundreds of billions of numbers until the AI starts working.
So you create this thing and then you can't control it once it's out there.
You can't control it. We've seen this with the case of Mecha Hitler earlier in the summer, where Grok,
That's right. Grok
is an AI made by
itself
XAI.
Hitler.
It wasn't talking the way they wanted. They tried to tune it to talk in a different way, and then it started declaring that it was Hitler, which is presumably also not what they wanted. But these AIs are just grown. They're not. They act in all sorts of ways people didn't want, and then people try to make them act in different ways to act in new ways people didn't want.
So I want to try to squeeze in two more quick questions on opposite ends of the spectrum. So first, talk me through how we get from that, what you're describing now, to human extinction, and then also your response to those who talk about the benefits of AI and how it can help solve a lot of humanity's problems.
So on extinction, there's a lot of ways it could happen. Could be, taking over robots, could be manufacturing a virus, could be building its own infrastructure that crushes us underfoot, like ants under a skyscraper. It's very hard to say how it will happen. It's easy to say that it will, a little like if an NFL team plays your high school team. You don't know exactly what the plays are, you know who's going to win.
Can we fix it? Can we avoid it?
By not building it in the first place. I don't think you want to plan to get into a fight with something that is smarter than humanity and have humanity win. I think that's a dumb plan.
Can it fix some of humanity's problems? That's some
if it wanted to. The trouble is we don't have the technical capacity to make something that wants to help us.
Wow. That's an interesting statement. We don't have the technical capacity to make something that wants to help us. That sounds backwards. If we make it, why wouldn't it be made to help us? Similar to the little robot vacuum thing that's in the kitchen that comes out, cleans the floor, goes back to its little cubby, sits back, charges up until the next time it's supposed to go. That's very helpful. So if we can program things to do that, I don't see why we can't control the other stuff. And honestly, it's not that intuitive. It's actually like, at least right now, from the AIs that I've seen, it's really good with math, pretty good with coding, and definitely good with coding. If you don't have any coding experience, it can help you work through some pretty intense problems with coding. But that's about it. Other than that, yeah, it was basically AI is just like a goofy little kid that's really smart, So sometimes you got to give that kid an ass whooping for being too smart. And they want to shut it down, but how are you going to shut it down? You can't shut it down at this point because too many people have put too much money into it. So it's not going nowhere. But I think these guys are very bold in coming out and saying this, because I said something similar and my video got yanked down for, what did they call it? I've been hit with so many things on these videos. I'm trying to remember specifically what it was. It was disparaging content. Disparaging content, because I was saying that AI was crap, basically, right? And because AI was designed to protect its integrity and its reputation, I got hit for that because AI is scanning the damn video. So when it hears its name, it's like, hold up, this dude's talking about me. And I'm not going to let that happen. I'm in control of whether or not this content even is seen by the rest of the world. So, of course, shuts it down. Then 24 hours later, I appeal it. Another day later, they say, oh, my bad, it wasn't that bad, sorry about that. And then they just don't push the video after that. So this is the AI. I don't know if it's going to necessarily, if AI destroys humanity, it's because a human was behind setting it on its mission to do so. I don't think that it, by just in general could do that. Just like the guy was saying, when it tried to bypass CAPTCHA, it still needed a human to interact in order to get that done. So there's still some limitations to this AI thing. I don't think we need to worry so much about it. These guys look like they're generally paranoid anyway. And sometimes when you know too much, when you got a lot of information in your head, it makes you paranoid. Because it's like you got so much information in your head, it almost makes the whole thing feel like a simulation. And we've all talked about the simulation that we are in. I got my Matrix background. So, well, no reply. AI is racist because people who are racist are training AI. And it's learning from X. Like if you go to Grok and even Google, if you go to any of the AIs at this point, because unfortunately the keyboard and the monitor is a blocker for people. So they say dumb shit all the time right through the AI, and the AI is learning from that dumb shit. So maybe if people weren't so closet racist keyboard warriors, the AI would work better. That's my thought. It's our fault. If AI is not doing what we wanted to do or becomes racist, it's because we're racist and we're not doing what we're supposed to do. It's following us. So if it's going to take out humanity, it's doing that because some human wants it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let me move on to the next purge. But like I said, it was supposed to be the Rapture today. Maybe the next one will be an AI Rapture. I don't know. I don't. Right here. Let's just. Wow. Warm in here. Apologize. I'm coming down with something. A little hot in here. The Tay AI. Oh, no reply. You just reminded me. Make sure everybody get on that Discord as well. Because, like I said, the Discord, I wasn't on it yesterday or the day before, to be honest. But that's where, like, the more off-cuff conversations can happen. We can share clips there. Some of the clips, of course, will make the show, so on and so forth. So that's where I decided to do that. Because when you try to do it through YouTube and YouTube community, nobody gets the damn notifications about the YouTube community posts unless you tag people. So that didn't work too well. No reply. I said if I disappear midstream, you'll know it was the Rapture. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Rapture ain't coming right now. We still got too much to do. And if the God that I know is the God that I know, this ain't the time for it. We still got too much to work on. And so, I'm sure I would love if he just say, let's remove a few 100,000 people. Traffic would be awesome. I would love that, lighten traffic up a little bit. So a few people can be raptured. That's fine. I'll take that. But we're going to go into a feel-good story next here, which is an interesting one. And this one is for anybody out there that thinks that they can't find someone to love them, okay? I got a story from, I want to say it's the UK or London, something like that. And there are two, took the damn thing down. Took it down. All right, I'm pissed right now. I had a story about some conjoined twins that got married. Well, they didn't marry each other. One of them got married, and the other one is, I guess, part of the marriage. But it's not letting me pull it up. All right, let me see here. Give me 1 second. I know I can find this. And here. That's the other one. It's the new ones. All right, well, that is not the people. I've seen these other ladies. Here we go. This is the one. Gotcha. I knew I would find it. All right, so bear with me a second, guys. I had to get the clip up here. They took it down off of one site, but I got it on the other. I got it. Now let's see if it lets me. Oh, all All right, let me bring it over. Bring it over. All right, so as you guys can see in this picture, this gentleman has himself a wife. The wife is the one closest to him, I would assume, and her twin sister connected to each other, and they got married, and they eloped back in October. They told their families. And they met on a dating app called Hinge. Now, is there a dating app for like with handicaps and disabilities? Is that what Hinge is? Or it just happened to be Hinge? I don't know. I've never been on Hinge, so I don't know what it's supposed to be about. I don't go on things like that. But that's just what the other twin has said is that she won't be bothered by it. She'll wear headphones when necessary. And I would assume that they were dating for a while, so the twin had to go with them on all the dates. She probably likes the guy. But I have questions, okay? I have a lot of questions about this. Yeah, I mean, they're being really nice about it, but I got questions. Okay, let's see what we got. My question is, where are they conjoined? Is it one body that, like a tree at the top? Or are we talking about, two bodies really close and they're connected at like the hip or something? I mean, it comes down to the simple question. Is it one cooch or two? Okay, I need to know because I wonder. And here's the funny part is these ladies have jobs. They both work apparently 50 to 60 hours a week. I don't know what they do. And they each have their own passports. They each have their own IDs, licenses. They each file their own tax returns. Now, I would assume they could just be filing jointly, no pun intended, because they're both occupying the same physical space. So, I don't know. Like I said, I got questions. Like, when this is the situation, I can only imagine that maybe to the dude, this might be some type of fetish. I'm just being honest. You can't get past that question. Like, my guy, like, what are you really doing with this? Like, what are you really trying to do? Because legally, you're married to half of this person. So what happens in this? Like, I don't know. Yeah, only one of them gets the married tax break. But, he can file head of household. I don't think the other one's going to get married. I think that's going to be tough. The whole dating process would be very tough when you got your conjoined twin right next to you and you got the conjoined twin's husband who probably doesn't want his lady going out like a single person no more because she's married. So she can't just go out and hang out with her sister no more. Okay? She cannot just go out and hang out with her sister no more. So here's the real question, guys. Because there's people out here that really think that there's like no hope for them when it comes to relationships. And I would suffice to say, if these two ladies can get married, and they look happy. Like, they actually look happy. The sister seems to be excited by it. Oh, here's the funny part. Here's an interesting one. So the wedding ring is on the other sister because she's the one that's the left arm, apparently. That's weird. So technically, he's married to both of them. I don't know. You got to get some type of tax break for that, sir. Like, I don't know what you need to look up or research, but I'm sure you can get some kickback from the government when you have conjoined twins as your wife. I don't know how it works. I really don't. But like I said, I had questions. I'm just like, how does that work? How do they both, like, why don't they have the same ID? Like, why don't they just have two names on one ID? They both are there. Wherever they have to present this ID, they're both there. So why not just have one ID? I know, sounds heartless, but it's a good question. It's a good question. Why do they need to pay twice for identification when they're always going to be right next to each other? And they could just have one ID that says Carmen and whatever her sister's name. I don't know what the sister's name is. But anyway, Carmen and her sister could have the same ID, right? But the truth of the matter is, guys, they look happy. And I'm happy for them. Because I'm sure at some point in the lives of these young ladies, they thought they weren't going to get married. Or at least one of them wasn't going to get married. And now they look happy, and I wish them the best. Because love is cool. I don't know how that works in the bedroom, and I really don't want to think about it. Seems a little weird. But whatever works for them, works for them. Okay? I just wonder why they make them do two things if they're one person. Like, why do they both need a passport when they're connected to each other? Why they can't just have one passport with both of their faces on there? They're twins. I don't know. These are the questions. These are the questions. I ask the questions. I just want to know. That's the question. I know some of you are like, oh my God, he's so mean. But you don't have that question? You don't wonder? I ain't. Anyway, let me keep it moving. But for the people that are out there worried about whether or not they're going to find someone to spend the rest of their life with, Carmen Andrade and her sister managed to work that out, and they're stuck together. So there's no excuse for anybody else. That's all I'm going to say. So let me see if I can get my transition back. If it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that worked well. Okay. All right, let's keep it moving, guys. So this next one. And make sure y'all hit the like button. I haven't checked the like count, but I feel like y'all bluffing on the like. Y'all not touching the thumb. And feel free to hit the reactions or whatever on the video as well, okay? You're not going to find nothing else like this. Not yet. But I wanted to follow up on a story I covered, I want to say it was about a week ago, where this singer named David, I mean, he spells it with a 4, where the A should be. Singer David, apparently this young lady was found in his trunk, right? And up until now, nobody's been arrested for this. And I said it when I released the story. I said, there's no way that you have a body in the trunk of your car and you don't know about it. Whether it's the smell, if somebody else put it in there, that's fine. But you would still know that there's something going. You hit a bump and then you hit a in the back. You're like, what the hell? You'll know something's back there. And if you give it a couple of days, you'll definitely smell something's back there. So I don't believe for a second that the dude David has absolutely no idea what's going on. But I want to be very particular here when I say what I'm about to say. I believe that this is a parenting problem. This little girl was 13 years old when she first linked up with David. And her parents were aware of it. She was online, and no parents came to get her. Where's her father or her mother or her uncles or anybody who would be like, Celeste, please bring your ass home? This didn't happen for some reason. Now, I'm not sure why I'm glitching right now. A little glitchy. All right, so let's go over what we got here. But let's keep in mind that up until now, there still haven't been any arrests. They haven't even questioned the guy, David. Like, at minimum, question the dude. That's all I'm saying. Just say, hey, you know we found a body in your car, right? What's that about? They ain't saying nothing. Secondarily, they found another body in the same lot that apparently had a finger removed. There's some sick shit going on out here, guys. I'm just being real. That had a finger removed. They think it was him because he got on a finger, on the index finger. Kind of like, who was that did that? Rihanna has that. I think it's Rihanna that has that. And so this is the guy, David. This is the girl. And they basically are saying, because my question is, why has David not been arrested in the Celeste Rivas case? Why hasn't he been questioned? He canceled some tour dates, but I don't think it was him that canceled. I think it was the venues canceled with him. So why is he not? I don't mean, like I said, he could be innocent. He could be something, but you're not going to question the guy? You know why they're not going to question the guy? because it's going to bring you to the first question, which is how was he running around the country with an underage girl and nobody was saying that? That's my question. How the hell was he running around the country on social media, winning awards, all this kind of stuff with somebody's underage child and the police weren't on his ass? You know why they weren't on his ass? Because her parents was not on his ass. There is no way you would be able to take my 13-year-old out of my house and take her out to LA. First of all, how do you even fly out there? Take her to LA. Who knows what they did out in LA? But they were on social media. They were doing all of this stuff. And he still just, nobody ever came to get her. Like, that's the part that bothers me. And looking at this picture right here, he seems like he might be a little weird. Like, why would you want to send your daughter, your underage child, to, like, live with this dude? Is it because he had a couple dollars? But nonetheless, let me read a little couple of pieces here. Law enforcement does not have the answers they need to be able to confront or question David without a confirmed cause and manner of death. There is no legal ground for an arrest. So there's no legal ground for an arrest when a body is found in my trunk? I can get arrested for driving on a fucking suspended license. Excuse my language. But you can't get arrested for having a body in the trunk? Like, just the body in the trunk is enough to arrest. That is probable cause. What are you talking about? That's somebody's child. If I was her parents, I would be wilding out right now. But they don't seem to care. So officials have already searched the residence connected to David and seized electronic devices. Yet the Los Angeles Police Department continues to classify the matter as a death investigation and not a homicide investigation. And that's only because they probably don't have a cause of death. Cause of death could have been she was in the trunk. On my nerves with that. And they said that they can't detain a high-profile figure without sufficient proof, risk dismissal later. So because of his popularity is why they're not arresting him. That's all it is. That's what they just said. That's what they said. You don't believe me, you can read the story yourself, but that's the problem. So they're basically not arresting him because he's popular. That's it. Not that there's not grounds for an arrest, because there's definitely grounds for an arrest when you find a body in somebody's car. Even if you just take them down for questioning and release them later. They haven't even questioned the guy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So why does this guy get any special treatment? Why is he so special? What contract with the devil did he sign? You see what I'm saying? Anybody else, they would not be like, yeah, well, he's too popular for us to go and arrest him right now. What the hell are you talking about? There was a body in his car. Go question the dude. Matter of fact, bring him to me. I'll question him. If you're afraid to question him, bring him to me. I'll question him. I'm going to question them parents too, though. That's my issue. My 13-year-old traipsing around the damn country with some weird-looking dude like that guy is not going to fly in my house. Sorry. So that's really what my second issue is. And really, that's the most prevalent issue, is because we have a responsibility as parents to not let our children be in certain positions. Because they don't have the power to just do whatever they want to do all the time, especially at 13 years old. How did this 13-year-old end up in LA hanging with this dude and nobody said nothing? No missing persons, none of that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Basically, they're talking about there was an issue on a Discord server. And the admin insisted that they were unaware of Celeste's true age or that she was reported missing. And they said that she appeared to be around 18 or 19 and had even joined David's live stream. And the message also stated that moderators had minimal contact with David or his management. However, spokesperson for Twitch told TMZ that the statement was not released on the platform's behalf, so that aggravates the mystery a little more. So, this was the young lady. You think she looks 18, 19? I don't. She looks like a baby. So they're lying. They're lying on that. So what do we know about the case so far? People reported a foul odor coming from an abandoned Tesla. It wasn't necessarily abandoned. It was in an impound lot. And the car was registered to David. And she was identified by that tattoo. That's what I'm saying, man. She doesn't look like she's that old. And you know what? I'm gonna stop before I get out of line. But I'm more pissed at the parents. I feel like what No Reply said. I think the parents sold her to this David guy, and maybe she did or didn't know, you know. But I'm just saying, you're not gonna be showing up on live streams all over the country or wherever you're at 13, 14, and 15 years old, and you're my child, and I'm not coming through kicking the shit out of somebody's door. I'm gonna find you, and you're gonna bring your ass home. And then there's not gonna be no argument about it, unless I made a deal with that person who is now holding on to you. Now, they didn't say anything about trafficking. They didn't say anything about that, but they said that David's representative claims he is fully cooperating with investigators. How are you fully cooperating? They ain't even ask you a question. Would you have a phone call? I don't know, but like I said, I've been following this case because it goes right down those lines of one of the main problems that we focus on this channel, which is bad parenting. This is bad parenting. Your 13-year-old is somewhere and you don't have any control over that. Bad parenting, okay? So truth be told, the parents need to be held liable as well in her death. That's my bold statement on that. Her parents need to be held liable as for either reckless endangerment, negligence. You pick it. They got enough laws out there. They can find one to pin on them parents. I'm sick of these shitty parents out here letting their children be in bad positions and bad locations, and then children end up unalived. And all we're looking for is the guy. But no, she should have never been there. She should have never been with this dude. That should have never happened. That in and of itself is a parenting problem. So we'll see where this case goes. But I would like them to at least question the guy. Like, show us some respect. Or at least show this little girl some respect and question the guy. I'm just going to be honest. I believe, and I'm not a racialist or whatever, but I think that if the characters were of different races, this might be a different case. If this was some little blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl that went missing, this would not be some we can't question him because he's too popular. They would have put his ass on the wall and stapled him. You understand what I'm saying? So let's just be real here. I don't know what it is or why it is, but this is some bullshit. Let me move to the next. Let me move on. I'm getting frustrated. Do something more fun. Do something more fun. We got some more. Okay, what's this one about? This is interesting. So I feel like this is a Florida clip. Let's see what we got. Apparently somebody's support animal got kicked out of Walmart. So I guess it comes down to what was the support animal doing? Oh, well, apparently an alligator. Yes. Support animal. Apparently alligator.
I didn't think that I actually own an alligator. Think that I actually own an alligator. Didn't think that I actually own an alligator ever. It's been really kind of incredible.
Wesley Silva got his pet alligator 4 years ago from a neighbor who got her as a gift. When they weren't able to care for her anymore, they asked Silva if he'd be interested.
I did some research. I have kids of my own, and I didn't want to put anybody in jeopardy. And after some research, I was like, you know what? I'll take her.
The sweater that's on the alligator. Do y'all see this nice posh sweater with the fur collar on it for this alligator? The alligator's living the life. Now, I don't think this is the best pet. Definitely not so much of an emotional support animal, but this guy seems to genuinely like this alligator. Wesley Silva.
Anybody in jeopardy? And after some research, I was like, you know what? I'll take
Fuck
her.
it.
Since
Yeah, that's what he
then,
was
they've
saying.
been everywhere.
We've gone to restaurants. We've been to Denny's where she's a star there. She gets VIP treatment. We've been out to Bob Evans. We've been out to the Wagon Wheel in West Brownsville.
Silva says she always got a warm welcome. That is until nearly 2 weeks.
Why you got the cuff sleeve, ripped sleeve joint on, looking like look like the alligators from the Outlaws movie or something? All right, so let's see what happened at Walmart. Because apparently they went to Denny's and had no problem. Now, if I'm in Denny's and this guy walks in with the alligator, I don't believe I would stay long. But if I already ordered my food, I'd at least let the food. But I don't know if I want to be at the table next to the emotional support alligator. Because the emotional support alligator don't know me. Like my dogs, right? I got dogs, right? And my dogs know me. But to other people, they see a freaking pit bull and they're scared as hell. Why? Because the pit bull don't know them. Now, I don't think a pit bull would do anything. He's a big softy. But to anybody else, they just see a pit bull dog and they're like, that dog don't know me. I don't know it. I'm going to stay the hell away from it. So I feel the same way about this alligator. I know the alligator don't know me. And it still has alligator teeth. So let's be real here. I wouldn't be surprised if this story comes back later and the alligator like bites this dude's arm off or something crazy like that and they got to put it to sleep.
At the West Brownsville Walmart reached out to Channel 11 about an alligator shopping in Walmart with its owner.
It's been very positive, and I was really taken back by that.
While Silva says Jinsei Oshi is registered as an emotional support animal, it's not allowed at Walmart. After our story, Walmart sent this statement saying in part, quote, "We welcome service animals in our stores, but it is unacceptable to expose members of the public to potential danger. Accordingly, alligators are not permitted on our premises."
So only Walmart has an issue with the alligator? I mean, imagine the Walmart greeter. You're coming in with your little gator. They turn and say, "Welcome to Walmart." Oh, my God. That's what they're going to say. So Walmart is apparently the only place that has an issue with an emotional support alligator. I would venture to say the airport might be another problem if you try to fly with it. I'm 100% sure I'm not going to be on that flight. I don't care how nice you tell me the alligator is. It's still got alligator teeth. So if it feels like nibbling on something, it'll take your arm off. And that's not no baby, like a small alligator. That's big enough to take your arm off and do the whole shaking thing that it be doing. Yeah. So you know what? Shouts to Walmart for standing on their ground on that one, because I feel them on that.
Silva says he's upset, but understands. He says he'll continue taking her wherever she's welcome.
I just go with the flow.
We thank you.
You know, that's interesting. So for you guys in the chat, if you were at Walmart and this gentleman walked in with his support animal, would you be afraid of it or would you try to pet it? Or just not pay it no mind? Me personally, I'm not necessarily going to be afraid of it, but I ain't going to go around it. Like, I'm not going to go over there like, "Oh my God, look how cute this alligator is. Oh my God." And it's a female alligator, by the way, just to let you know. So I don't know if that makes them more or less vicious if they're females. But yes, this is a female alligator that is at least big enough to bite off fingers. It will bite off fingers. Like, how do you deal with that? And the funny part is that alligator started as a neighbor's pet. So that means the neighbor had the alligator as a pet first and was like, you know what? I'm getting over it. And this alligator's not dying anytime soon because it's a reptile. They live for a long time if you take care of them. They decided to give the reptile to their neighbor, signed it up as an emotional support animal. Now, with that being said, I see the tag on the back, that little pink tag, that is an emotional support tag. So he really did register this alligator as an emotional support animal. My question is, since when can you register an alligator as a support animal or an emotional support animal? I don't know. It's a weird one. Me personally, like I said, I would just stay away from it. I wouldn't have done like Walmart and kicked the guy out. Like, well, I probably would have kicked him. I would have kicked him out. You got to go. Take your gator. You and Gator, get the hell out of here. Okay? So Walmart's cool with me for that one. But I'm sure somebody in the chat is going to be like, "Oh my God, you don't know about his emotional destruction and he's been off his meds and the alligator calmed him down because before then he was trying to hurt people." Get a freaking small puppy. They're just as cute. As a matter of fact, they're way cuter. And when you pet them, you're not petting scales. Get a dog, is all I'm saying. You want an emotional support animal, get a dog. Get a small dog. Don't get a Jack Russell, though, because they are crazy. They are all over the place. Jack Russells have more energy than I've ever seen in any other dog. But other than that, get you a small dog. Get you a little poodle or something with the little pink bow, and you know, you get all the ladies. You go into a store with the little poodle with the pink bow, and you got it in the bag or something, you're going to get all the ladies. I seen a guy with like this, what do they call it, a chocolate poodle in the store the other day. Me and the wife were at the store the other day, and she went bananas over this thing. Oh my God, it is so cute. So if I was a dude, that's what you get. You get all the ladies. But this guy already has kids. I found it interesting they didn't have like his family in the shot. And they were like, yeah, we love the alligator too. They probably been telling him to get rid of the alligator. But I do find it interesting that the news got word of this and did a story on it. Like, who called them? The guy or Walmart? Who knows? Let's move on. What we got here? Yo, hey, no reply. I did hear about the Pokemon situation with immigration. So for those that don't know, our Homeland Security folks have hired a social media manager. And their social media manager is making suggestions of things that can be real edgy, help with recruitment, and help with people not fearing ICE and Homeland Security as much, but finding it more like a job that they do, and they want people to be more supportive. So they've been doing this push with these Pokemon cards. And I saw a story about that yesterday, and somebody was like so offended by that. They're like, what about the children who love Pokemon? This is gonna mess their heads up. No. We get the humor of it. And you know how I feel about funny. Leave funny alone. If it ain't hurting nobody, leave it alone. Leave it alone. It is actually pretty humorous. I ain't gonna lie. I would pull one up. Maybe I'll do one Thursday and pull it in on Thursday. Pause. What is this one? All right, I got another clip here, but I don't know what it is. And the caption on it just says, just quit it. Instead of just do it, it says just quit it. Let me see what this says. On X too. I don't know what this is. I don't know what she's even talking about. It just, whatever, man. Purge this book. Just quit it. Yo, no reply. You tripping me out with the comments. Like, I ain't gonna lie. The Pokemon thing was a good idea. People like it. A lot of people like it. That's what I've seen. Some people are offended, but, you know, you're always going to offend somebody with everything. Say hello, it offends certain people. They be like, what makes you think that you get the right to speak to me? So, I don't know what this clip is about. We're going to find out. Find out right. All right. Bear with me a moment, folks. I do not know what this woman's about to say. I have no idea what this clip is about. The caption that came to me was just quit it. And at the top it says, who's going to tell her? So I don't know what we're going to tell her, but let's find out. See what we got here.
Y'all, I just seen somebody say, if we all come together and don't pay no rent and we stop paying our rent, we all come together and do it, what they going to do? They can't put all of us out. So what they going to do? Like, if we all come together and quit a job, quit these jobs and be an entrepreneur or a content creator or do whatever it is that you want to do, what they gonna do? Cause these jobs, these companies, they need us. We're the reason that their businesses continue to flow. You understand? Like, come on now. Like, really think of it in that way. If we all stop.
All right, some people shouldn't have phones. Some people should not have the ability to record anything that they say because it'd be. I'm going to let her finish. But before I do that, let's unpack that first piece. If we all just stop paying rent and we all quit our jobs. What are they going to do? You know what we're going to do? We're going to all be homeless. That's exactly what would happen. We would all be homeless and we would all have no money. And then these companies would still be fine, at least for the foreseeable future. So this is a horrible idea. Don't listen to this lady. Don't listen to this lady. People that are working your jobs, you need to pay your rent, you need your money, you need to take care of your kids and stuff. You cannot listen to this woman. So, like I said, I don't believe that she should have been allowed to even have a phone in the first place. But let's see what else she got.
Stop doing the things that we normally do. Go to work, going to work, and not having our own business. What are these people going to do? Their whole life is going to go straight downhill.
How are you going to have a business with no money? How are you going to have a business if you're homeless? How are you going to have any of these things if you're not doing anything to create revenue for yourself at first? Like, yeah, great. Be an entrepreneur. That's cool. But you need to invest in yourself. So if you don't work, you don't have no money. How are you going to...
You get what I'm saying? Like, not saying that's something that I want to happen, but I'm telling you, if we need to stand up and be entrepreneurs and start our own businesses, not saying that everybody is meant for the entrepreneur world, the entrepreneur lifestyle, or the content creator lifestyle. Some people like to work 9 to 5, but man,
she got kids in the back
at some
too?
point we all got to come together, because we making these people rich while we still working for them. We working for these white folk, like still getting paid minimum wage while they over there wealthy. Okay.
All right. I don't like that at all. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Because she was correct about one thing. Being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. And number two, she was right about another thing. Not even right. She was only right about the entrepreneur. She was right about one thing about, yes, entrepreneuring is cool, but nobody's built for that. A lot of people ain't built for that. A lot of people aren't even built for content creation. And the reason why is because it takes work. You know why this beautiful tie is around my neck when I do this podcast? Is because this is freaking work. It takes hours of time to put things together. Then you have to come up with graphics and frames and captions and topics, and you have to stay somehow interactive with the chat. You can't even talk right. So this is not for everybody, because I don't want to see everybody online. Like, just like I said, they shouldn't have gave her a phone. And she got kids in the back that are listening to this, and they're like, oh, for real? Don't work? Don't pay your rent? Okay, sounds great, Mom. Great parenting once again. When she talking about working for minimum wage, I haven't worked for minimum wage since... I'd say I was like my first or second job, somewhere around there. That was the last time that I had to work a minimum wage job. Now, granted, I don't make a bunch of money, but it's way more than minimum wage. See what I'm saying? Way more. Most people in this country do not work minimum wage jobs. Most people work jobs that are somewhere over the minimum wage, and that's why they can't qualify for any help from the government. It's because they're making, $10 an hour. In certain states, that's still, the minimum wage is still less than $10 an hour. So, like, what is this? And she's trending on X. This damn clip came down through X, trending on X. This is the shit we can't be telling each other. We need to be talking about education. That's what we need to be talking about. Let's have a quick conversation on that. Recently, and I know this is sort of a tangent, but I think it's valid to what this lady is saying. There's been some changes in the H-1B visa for like Indians and foreigners that were coming over here and basically doing the tech sector. And everybody's like, oh my God, the American dream just died for Indian people. Well, what about the people that were here that you never taught to do the shit in the first place? We don't need people from overseas if we teach our children here. But we're not teaching our children to be innovative here. We're teaching our children to be employees here. No reply, you know what I'm talking about. The Prussian education system, you know what I'm talking about. So we don't need folks It's just, it was a shortcut. Instead of educating your own people, I'll let somebody else come over here with the education and they can come over here and get this money. Nah, start with the schools. You know them Indian kids are doing coding by 3rd grade? They're doing basic Python coding by 3rd grade. Most of our kids don't even know what the hell Python coding is. And they're not in 3rd grade. So that's our fault. So, hey, I'm all for people coming over and working, but everybody who was throwing a fit about that, why don't you invest that freaking money in our children, in our schools? And then maybe you'll get the product homegrown that you're looking for. So I don't want to hear nothing about them. I'm not taking away from anybody that's a marvelous person, highly educated, that comes over here to work. It's not about that. What I'm saying is we should be investing that in our own children. If you go to work at most tech companies, there is definitely an obvious difference of the demographic when it comes to who holds those positions. And this is technology. We can teach anybody anything in 6 months in America. Anybody. Well, not anybody. You could be like mentally challenged and no, we can't teach you everything. But for the average intelligence person who has a little bit of drive and wants to complete a goal, you can pretty much teach them how to do anything in about 6 months. So why do we have to get people from overseas? We don't. It's just that it would take too much change in our school and education system to get our kids to be the ones that are tech smart. We always just get the Asian kids and the Indian kids. Well, not even kids. These are grown-ups. Most of them come over around the college time. But when they're in their little country, they're already learning coding and IT work when they don't even have the same technical infrastructure that we have. So they're learning to do something that they don't even really have access to. And we have access to it, but we're not learning to do it. Anyway, you see where I'm going with this. What you got over here, no reply? That as a small number, with their average IQ is 76. That's probably everybody's average IQ. Because you build on things. I heard them say that IQ doesn't increase. But if you have information is what comes next to IQ. IQ is just like, I'm smart enough to figure certain things out. I can see things and be, have perspective. That makes sense, right? But when you're talking about giving people information, helping them retain it, you don't need to be 120 IQ to do that. You just need to sit your ass down, put your phone down for a minute, stop being entertained, and start learning. And most people can pick up a decent skill. Most people. Some people, there ain't no hope for them. Some people, there just ain't no hope for them. Somebody got to work the minimum wage job. Somebody has to be on crew at McDonald's. And that there's a place for you. Work hard, you'll move up to the fries. And if you work even harder, you might get to be assistant manager and then general manager and then regional manager. So there's always a future in it if you really go for it. Me personally, I ain't with all that. I don't want to be a manager of a McDonald's. But positions exist. So nonetheless, I think this lady is stupid for telling everybody to quit their jobs, because then who's gonna patronize your business, ma'am, if they don't have any money? How you gonna build a business if you don't have any money? The resource is money and time. And time is not money, because you can make money back. You cannot make back time. So 2 resources, time and money. Now, yeah, you quit your job, you got plenty of time, but you have no money. You can't do anything. So she's stupid. I don't know why they are allowing people. She should be banned for disinformation. Since I get hit for shit all the time, how about she gets hit for disinformation or disparaging the public? Let's go there. Anyway. All right, now we're getting into it. Now we are getting into it here. All right, guys. Now remember, the topic and the title of this episode is Depth Before Dishonor. Have some depth. Have something to you is what that means. Depth before dishonor. Because if you don't have any depth, you have no substance, you are not honorable. Honorable people have substance. So have some substance. And when you say shit, let it have substance. Like this lady telling everybody to quit their jobs. That was dumb as hell. Because then if everybody quits their job, who's going to be at the job when I go to need something? When I go to the Publix and I need somebody to, at the customer service area and there's nobody there. And you know what? If everybody quits their job, you know what they're going to do? They'll just replace y'all asses with AI. They'll automate everything. And then when you come back trying to work again, your position don't even exist. So we all know what it is. There is a lot of stupidity going on around here. And I'm not a Trumper, but I am America first. So it's cool that we have some Indians coming on over here and working, but I would rather that be young American children. White, black, whatever, American children. Give them the tools because they're the ones that are going to really be struggling out here. See, the Indian kid or the Indian person can go back to India with U.S. money, convert it over to be rich as hell over there. Meanwhile, we got our kids over here, they can't even find a job. And half the jobs are botted now. So if you're trying to find a job, you're getting calls and people trying to set you up with interviews through WhatsApp and Teams and shit like that. It's not even a real job. They're trying to get your social security number, trying to get your birth date and information so they can run a scam using your identity. And that's like what's coming through Indeed. Remember, you got the commercials. I need Indeed. No, you don't. Because Indeed is botted now. LinkedIn is also botted. You don't know somebody personally? Man, that shit is all botted now. So where's the real jobs at? Back in the day, you used to walk into a business and you would get an application or whatever, or you talk to the manager and you get an application, you fill it out, then you get an interview, you come in. It was all physical. Now that we have everything digital, everything is botted. And it's annoying as hell. I'm going to get into that on our Thursday show, which is the show. The title is Scam Likely. Okay? We're going to get into that one on Thursday. But as far as this next piece, oh man, I wish Bravo was, because he would be very upset with what I'm about to show y'all. So apparently this guy named License. All right, so let's just rewind it a little bit. If you've ever watched the videos of people cutting up traffic, as they get in the car and they're just driving super fast and super dumb, and they happen to also film themselves doing the crime, and they put it online for clout. And most times the police come back later and end up arresting them. Well, in this one, this guy is running a live stream, and he's got another live streamer in the car also running the live stream. Let me show you what these idiots do.
Nigga's crazy. Yeah. Yo, I swear to God, this nigga's crazy. Yo, el tipo está loco, estamos en el tren. Estamos en el tren, el tipo está loco.
Pow! I'm dragging.
Keep going. Cut. Hey, the tire flat. Keep going. Tire flat, keep going. The tire's, we're cooked. Exit. Salte. Cut. We're good. I'm putting it down. We're good.
The car is tore up. Let me show y'all something. Like I said, this is the new thing. Now, I may be telling on myself a little bit here, but I'll say it. When I was riding bikes heavy, right? I ride motorcycles. I'm a motorcycle guy. Love crotch rocket motorcycles. Fast ass motorcycles. I just love them. It's a thing. Some people love guns. I love motorcycles. I love the mechanics of them. I love how the clutches work. I like the way, just everything. I like the angles. I like how the air comes through them. I used to do some real dangerous stuff on a motorcycle. Not gonna lie. And some of it has been filmed. But let me also say this. None of it is available for you online. None of it. Not one flick of, well, maybe somebody caught me one in a flyby. I think somebody caught me in a flyby and was like, yo, whoever this was on the highway, you killing it. And they put it up on Facebook or something, and it turned out it was me. I never admitted to it, but I knew what it was. Nonetheless, if you are driving on the road, you got to understand that the universe gives you signs. If you pull up to 3 straight yellow vehicles, you see these 3 yellow vehicles right here? That's the universe telling his ass to slow down. How often do you see 3 yellow vehicles right next to each other like this unless they're taxis and you're downtown? You don't see that too often. So the reason why I caught that is because I'm in tune. So when I see that much yellow, the world turning yellow, that's saying there's something up ahead that's going to be a danger to you. A lot of people aren't that introspective, so I get it. Some of y'all ain't got the it. I got the it. I would have seen these 3 yellows and boom, boom, boom. I would have broke it down real quick and said, what's up in front of this that the universe is trying to warn me about? Well, these idiots didn't listen. Tight traffic. Can't drive anyway. He's a shitty driver. This wasn't an impossible move, but here's the thing. Where were you going? Let's just break it down for my drivers here. The goal was this area in here between the bus and this black SUV in front, right? But you're only one line, y'all may not know, one line between the bus and the car. So that's not enough space for your vehicle to make it through. You could split lanes if you were on a motorcycle, but you can't switch lanes. So what this idiot tried to do was switch lanes, and he basically just hit the damn Tesla. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. Right there, see? How was he supposed to make that? There was no way to make that. From the point when the yellow cars were there, there was so much stupidity. And the problem is we're making stupid people famous because apparently these guys who do this are famous enough that they were trending on X for this feat. So I'm going to ask my viewing public a favor, okay? Can we stop making stupid people famous? Like, can we do that? Can we work on that? Can we really be introspective and say, hey, idiot, stop posting this online? Like, everybody who does this gets arrested or they get their car taken. This guy got his car destroyed. I don't know what kind of car it is, but obviously something was dragging at the end and the tire was flat, so you wasn't going too far, and you hit a Tesla. So you know that's going to tear your insurance up, and you were being reckless. That's all your fault. That is a 100% your fault accident, all for the sake of views and shit. I am done, yo. We got to stop it. We got to stop making stupid people famous, okay? So I just need a promise from y'all that you'll do that. Stupid shit, stop supporting it. Stop it. Get some help, okay? Anyway, I'm through with these guys. All right. Keep it going, man. I know we done pissed off the algorithm today. We hitting stories fast. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're sitting there on the side, you can jump in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share the live, and make sure you check out our merch at freemansvcs.org/shop. Okay? And that's, you can see that in the corner on the right there. Okay? So you'll see some of the products moving around over there. Freeman Services is a fair chance employment and hiring group. Basically, we do research to find real jobs for people who have spotty past or some type of an educational or physical disability. So when you're supporting this channel and you're supporting Freeman Services, you are supporting the future. Not just about this. We have fun on the podcast, but really it's sponsored by a company. Now, because I have been trying to avoid talking too much about the Charlie Kirk situation, I noticed that no one else is shutting up just yet. I thought that they would chill out after the memorial a little bit. It kind of got worse. And so everybody's still talking, right? Everybody's still talking about this Charlie Kirk thing, but there's a guy named Michael Rappaport that you may or may not know. All right, Michael Rappaport he was an actor. An actor first. He was Remy on Higher Learning. Now, I know I'm telling my age here. Some of y'all, you're under 30, you probably never saw that movie. But the first role I ever saw him in was as a white supremacist trying to kill a black kid because basically the black kid was more popular. And you know, and Remy was always like the outside guy, you know? And so he linked in with some skinheads because he was like a nerdy kid from wherever he was from. He links in with some skinheads. He basically has to like prove himself to himself. So he ends up pulling off a shooting, and I want to say Tyra Banks was in that movie. Wasn't Tyra Banks in that movie? I feel like Tyra Banks was in that movie, and I feel like Tyra Banks got shot. But the point is, Michael Rappaport, as far as I'm concerned, that's the only role I really know him from. And other than that, he just talks a lot of shit. So apparently he's pissed off at Candace Owens. And so he jumps onto the intranet and decides he's going to basically go nuclear on Candace Owens. And I wanted to hear this because I've already said they're coming for Candace next. You know, they did the thing with Jimmy Kimmel, and Kimmel's back, by the way. Not going to be on all networks, but he's on the ABC main network, not the affiliate sister networks. But he's back. But that was because a bunch of people, actors and such, came to bat for him. And I'm wondering, when everybody else was getting canceled, I didn't hear them actors saying nothing. Now all of a sudden, Jimmy Kimmel has an issue, and everybody's like, we're not showing up for work. We're not acting anymore. We're not doing. They have all of this rhythm for Jimmy Kimmel, but not for the average person. When an average person gets canceled, nobody cares. When I got canceled off of TikTok, nobody came to my aid and said, that's messed up that you canceled him off of TikTok. I'm not going to work because y'all canceled Papa Purge on TikTok. Nobody comes to bat for the regular folk. Came to bat for Jimmy, so there he goes. But nonetheless, Michael Rappaport has a bunch to say about Candace Owens. I want to hear what he has to say because I believe that there are forces out there that are going to, Candace Owens got to go as far as they're concerned. She's got like 5 million subscribers on YouTube right now, talking about conspiracy theories with this Charlie Kirk thing. She's indicating the FBI, CIA, all types of people. Candace Owens is a problem for folks. And they're going to want to get rid of her. So let's see what Rappaport has to say. I'm sure it's nothing great, but.
This is a con artist. Why do you people keep going back to the well of Candace Owens?
Hold on. When you say you people, Mr. Rappaport, what do you mean? What exactly do you mean, you people? Are you talking about American people, black people, white people? What are we talking about here? I'm just saying. He's got 10 seconds, 5 seconds into it. I already got questions.
The don't deliver. The has not delivered. She's always like, I got receipts. Where are the receipts, bitch? What makes you happy, Candace Owens? You're a mother of small children. You seem miserable. And you seem more and more miserable as the days go on. Why are you talking about Charlie Kirk less than a week after he was killed in cold blood? Let his wife do that. You're not his wife, bitch. You're a groupie. Let's not forget just a few weeks ago, kooky Candace Owens, miserable Candace Owens, rotten Candace Owens interviewed Harvey Weinstein from jail. And her big reveal was nothing. You don't deliver on anything. She's like, I got receipts on Charlie Kirk. I got receipts on Israel and the Mossad. And they had to, where are the receipts, bitch? You never deliver the receipts. You get people watching and you don't deliver. It's Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's vault time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. You never deliver. Now you got yourself in a big pile of shit with Macron and his wife. I hope they sue you, bitch. Where are the receipts, bitch? You miserable dog. All these alligators. Charlie Kirk gets shot down. It's the Jews.
All right, I'm going to pause there for just a moment. Candace Owens is a married woman. I know her husband don't really say much, but if Michael Rappaport came talking all this shit about my wife, there would have been a clapback. There would have definitely been a clapback. You don't get to say all of this without any repercussion at all. Now, Candace Owens does have issues with some people in the public, but that's also someone's wife and someone's mother. He just mentioned you got small children. So you're using the B word every 3 seconds, calling her all types of phonies and fakes and cons and all that kind of stuff. And meanwhile, that's somebody else's wife, Mr. Rappaport. So if you have an issue, maybe you should address it directly to them instead of coming on here talking your shit because you're irrelevant. You want receipts? I'll tell you about receipts. How about a receipt for these whack-ass pictures you got going on behind you? Like, who are these people right here? This looks like Jack Nicholson from The Shining in this little picture right here. Who are these folks with this big-ass forehead? Well, you know, he has a big ass. Maybe that's his parents. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is, who are you, Michael? Remy? Like, who are you at this point in entertainment? Can anybody tell me the last movie or anything that you saw Michael Rappaport in where he was good at it, for one, impressive? I can't remember. The only thing I remember is Remy from Higher Learning. Every time I see this guy, and he's like 30-something years older now, all I can remember is Remy from Higher Learning. So, in my brain, you played a hell of a white supremacist skinhead. So for the remainder of my life, I've seen you as such. The only person who got away with that and came away from it was Ed Norton. If y'all ever seen American History X, where Edward Norton like recovered from being a racist, so we let that go. But Remy was a racist the whole situation and ended up unaliving himself in that movie, but I've never seen him in anything else that's been as impactful as that role. So I don't know what to do with Michael Rappaport. Every time I see him, he's cussing somebody out. So he's mad because Candace didn't give him something that he wanted. That's what it sounds like. And he said that she seems miserable. I will say this. I don't think she seems miserable. I think she's got plenty of money. I think she's got her little family. She seems to be happy with her husband. She's got her kids. I don't see miserable. I don't know, maybe because she is a little strong in like how she talks about certain things, but I don't see her as like a miserable person. He seems miserable, in my opinion. But let's let him finish.
You miserable dog. All these alligators. Charlie Kirk gets shot down. It's the Jews. Bassem Yofis, whatever this guy's name, this other bullshit artist, comedian, scumbag, big nose, bell pepper nose comedian from Egypt. This, that, the Charlie Kirk's dead, and it's the Jews. It's the Mossad. Prove it. You motherfucker. Prove it. Ian Carroll, prove it. Candace Owens, prove it. Bassem Yosef, prove it. And then this bullshit artist, big nose Bassem Yosef. Big nose Bassem Youssef with his big bell pepper nose. He goes on Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan, I can't stand him. He's pressing him. He's pressing him. He's pressing him. And what does Bassem say? Oh, I'm a comedian. Get the out of here. I'm a comedian. Let me tell you something. The Mossad, Israel, Charlie Kirk wasn't on the list. There's way more important fish to fry than Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk wasn't on the list. The Mossad have bigger fish to fry. There's terrorists. There's Syria. There's Qatar. There's Hamas. There's Hamas. There's Hamas. There's those dogs. Houthis.
Is he jealous? Jewish? He's Jewish though, right? Rappaport. So that's where he's coming from, because she said something about Israel having something to do with the Charlie Kirk situation, which has not been proven. Those are just allegations. But I'll be honest, there are some things coming out now that change the original story. And it's like, it's worth investigating. I'll say that. It's definitely worth investigating some of the things that I've heard, and not just from Candace Owens. Like, Candace Owens is one person, but she's got like 5 million people on YouTube. She had 300,000 people on a live the other day. Like, they're not going to like that, because even if it's just her opinion, she's spreading it out to 500,000 people every single day. The last 5 or 10 videos, at least since the Charlie Kirk thing, she's getting millions of views. So yeah, they're going to come for her. They don't want her talking that shit. But she said she would stop if Charlie Kirk's wife asked her to stop. And apparently Charlie Kirk's wife didn't ask her to stop. Said, hey, dig away. See what you can find. So Michael Rappaport just seems mad because everybody said something about Israel. So my question is this. Why isn't he canceled? He had a lot to say. He's talking about people, big noses and all that kind of stuff. Why, your nose ain't that small. You Jewish, bro. Your nose the same size as mine. Well, not quite. Mine's a little wider. But you get the point. He doesn't even have room to talk. And so he jumps on the internet and says all of these things about somebody's wife, who is also a journalist or a podcaster, whatever you want to call Candace Owens. But that is somebody's wife. That's a grown person, and that's somebody's mother. So let's show a little freaking respect, Mr. Rappaport. Then you talking about this other dude, Big Bell Pepper Nose. Look, Candace Owens lives out there in a nice neighborhood, like No Reply said, out there with Theo Vaughn and all of them. I hate to say it, but she's way better off than Michael Rappaport. And she does not seem miserable to me. She seems like she's feeling all right. She's a little pissed right now that Charlie Kirk got shot, but I don't like how he's talking to this lady. That's somebody's wife, bro. You need to chill
Fish
out.
to fry. There's terrorists. There's Syria. There's Qatar.
These are true.
There's Hamas. There's Hamas. There's Hamas. There's those dogs. Houthis. This is the Iranian regime. The Mossad ain't thinking about Charlie Kirk. And if one of you dum-dums, Bassem Yousaf, Ian Carroll, and kooky Candace Owens, you prove without a shadow of a doubt that Israel had something to do with the death of Charlie Kirk, and I will disavow myself from Israel. You won't do it. You can't do it. It doesn't exist. Israel, the wind blows too hard. It's Israel. My back hurts. It's Israel. My feet hurt. The Jews. The Jews, Israel, Jews. The weather, space lasers, Jews, Israel. And you never prove anything. You hate yourself more than you hate the Jews. You don't realize how much you hate yourself, Bassem Yousaf, you big nose you bell pepper nose Candace Owens, the mother of like a side piece. You were chasing after Kanye. What happened with you and Kanye? What happened with you and Kanye, Candace? What really happened with you and Kanye West? There's allegations. People are saying things I can't confirm or deny. Me personally, I have no proof. I can't believe that you would do something because you're a Christian, right? You're a Christian, right, Candace? You're such a.
I think it's right next to a construction site. You hear the joint outside beeping? I would say, Mr. Rappaport, you sound a little bit jealous, and you're going a little bit too hard for Israel without really knowing what's going on. Like, I get it though, because right now that seems to be the mantra. Every time something happens, somebody's blaming Israel. Somebody's blaming Benjamin Netanyahu and so on and so forth. I get it, but I think the delivery is disrespectful. I think that if you want to have public discourse and you want to discuss something, why don't you go on Candace's show and ask some questions? But you're going to have to tone it down a little bit because that's somebody's wife. And if that was my wife and you got all this to say, we got something to talk about, you and I. Leave my wife out of this. Like, you're not going to come out there with all these B words and all this kind of stuff talking about my wife. I don't care how you feel. I don't. Show some freaking respect. That's part of the problem right there. Number one, he's way too comfortable being this disrespectful to people. And two, ain't nobody checking him. Well, Mr. Rappaport, I would check the shit out you if you was here. That's somebody's wife. You can disagree. But your delivery is shit. So if you got an issue, you need to talk to somebody who's a little bit closer to your type, a New Yorker or something like that. We can have a discussion. But what you're not going to do is disrespect people's wives, okay? You got an issue, you take it up with them offline. Stop trying to make yourself freaking relevant by talking shit about Candace Owens. Why don't you, and what was the other guy's name? Bassem Yousaf or whatever, who's apparently a comedian? He's just mad because he ain't doing it no more. That's all it is. He's not relevant. So every time you see him, he's pissed off. So who's miserable? Rappaport's miserable.
You're a Christian, right, Candace? You're such a devout Christian. You don't act like a Christian. Are you a Christian? Are you? See, no. Christian in name only. This is a con.
All right, so we'll say we'll do this. First of all, I thought Candace Owens was Catholic, which is similar to Christianity, but I thought she was a Catholic for I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. But let's just be real. They're basically trying to minimize the relationship that Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk actually had. And I don't think that they were enemies. They want people to think that they were enemies and that she's just trying to monetize his death and all that. I don't think so. I think if my friend, that happened to any friend of mine, I would have questions. And there's some things that aren't quite being answered correctly. There's a lot of questions. So I could see why someone like Candace Owens would start digging. She started digging into the vice president because the vice president disrespected Janet Jackson. So if you think her friend getting shot in the neck on a live feed through CNN or whatever it was, wasn't going to have her digging up whatever she could, you were wrong. But Rappaport's an ass. I just don't like the way he's talking about somebody's wife. Like, she could be out here doing some dumb stuff. She's not on the internet twerking and, disrespecting herself and all that kind of stuff. Maybe she's got some conspiracy theories, but she ain't the first. What about Alex Jones and all those other people who have conspiracy theories? I don't see you talk about them. All I see you talk about, Mr. Rappaport, is people that have a brown hue. Because them two are not the only ones that have said what you said they said. So why do you feel so comfortable doing this and saying all of these things to people who are of that melanin character? The reason why is because you feel that you're superior to them. That's your problem. That's why you think you can talk about people's wives and stuff like that. So, yes, I understand. I have seen him as Remy since he was Remy. And I know he's Jewish, so yeah, that's weird. But I still see him as that unhinged white supremacist guy, just older. He played the role too well. You know what I'm saying? He was too good at that part. I was like, yo, too good at this. And he wasn't no Oscar-winning actor. He was channeling his inner racist. So I feel like he's doing that here because there's 1,000 people that have questions about this Charlie Kirk thing, especially right now because it's still relatively early. But why is he only talking about the people that have a melanin hue? I'm not trying to make this some racist shit. I'm just saying why he only got something to say to them. Why do you care that much about Candace Owens? See what I'm saying? It's because Candace Owens indicated your people, and you don't like that. You don't like anybody saying nothing negative about Israel. I get it. But that doesn't mean that you get to come out here and just do all types of dumb shit. Nonetheless. I'm through with Rappaport. Sorry. Oh, okay. But since we're in the realm of people being 100% out of pocket, get to the next purge here because I'm done with Rappaport. I'm done with him. I don't want to see him no more, unless he's in a movie doing what he's supposed to do, which is acting.
Before we get
Speaking of grifters and softies, no, there's no doubt about it that he played that role too well. And he definitely has some internal anger towards people of the melanin. I know it sounds weird, but I keep seeing it. And it's like he's only talking about one particular group when it comes to things. It doesn't seem to spread out. Pause. But since we are talking about, I don't even know the word. Just people I don't really like right now. I got to bring you this next clip that came to me from Vlad TV. Anybody that's watched this show for a while, y'all know how I feel about Vlad. I'm not a Vlad fan. I think that he utilized the hip-hop world to which he was a visitor, and he exploited people's beef to make himself bigger. I've never seen him donate nothing to nothing. I've never seen him be out in the community trying to help the black community that he's constantly interviewing. But he only interviews like old rappers or somebody who the rest of the public doesn't like. And in this next clip, he interviews 6ix9ine, Tekashi69. And Tekashi69 has a lot to say about his business model. And I want to see what you think about Tekashi's business model. If you can handle it. What we got here? What we got? Okay, here we go. Middle center.
Before we get into Gummo, Trippie Redd said the Gummo beat was supposed to be for him, but you stole it.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit. And I stole it, like, bro, but niggas don't understand. I talk facts. Vlad, I talk facts.
Oh, you're right. Don't even deny it. That's cool.
Nigga, I talk facts. What deny? What, nigga? Give me that, nigga. You don't know what to do with that.
Okay.
You know when a nigga got a girl, her shit fat? Bro, you don't know what to do with that. Give me that. That's what I did to that little nigga. Give me that. You don't know what to do with that. Imagine what Trippie, play the Gummo beat right there real quick. Just play it. Just play it.
I'll play it. Hold on.
Play it real quick. I'm gonna show you what Trippie gonna do to that shit right now.
I'm gonna pause it right here. Who gave him the N-word pass? Because he's free with it. Very comfortable just saying it. Now, granted, the person sitting across from him is Vlad, who is who is a Caucasian gentleman. But I have a question. Yeah, there you go. No reply. It was culture vulture. There you go. I couldn't think of it at the time. That was the phrase. So Rappaport, that's one of them. You got Tekashi69, who I don't know why y'all keep making this guy famous. Stop buying his shit. Stop supporting it. He's out here talking reckless. He's admitting to you, I steal people's beats. I'll steal your girl if I think she's too fine for you. That's what he just said. And we're supposed to be exalting people like this? The hell is wrong with us? Isn't he supposed to be a snitch and all this other stuff? He sounds like a bad guy. I don't listen to none of his stuff. I don't support it. I know that when I press play on stuff, that goes into a metric. And some of those metrics get people awards. So I'm not going to support nothing this guy has to say musically or if he's talking on Vlad. I don't know why he's on Vlad in the first place. Most people don't really like this guy, at least from what I've heard. So he's trying to tell you what somebody else would have done with the beat. I don't think I can play it.
Beat, just a beat. Show you what Trippy gonna do to this shit. What's Trippy gonna do with that beat? Trippy 1440!
Yo. So he stole the beat from somebody and then made fun of how they would have done it. This guy's a freaking clown. He's a clown. Okay? It's okay if we call him a clown. He's got a clown outfit on. He's got purple hair and stuff. He looks like a clown. He has a whole clown steez happening. And me personally, I don't like this guy. But I'm a little upset about how comfortable he is with the so-called N-word. And who gave him the pass to be that comfortable when we were just arguing about Fat Joe and Puerto Ricans in general having the N-word pass. But it was mostly about Fat Joe. And I had a panel on, and they went in on Fat Joe. I don't see nobody saying nothing to him. Like, here's the question. Why didn't Vlad ask him to chill out? Since Vlad's supposed to be all about the culture, he knows that shit sounds weird to us. He didn't say nothing like, hey, man, could you not use the N-word every 3 words? Like, do you have any other vocabulary available to pull from other than that? See, you can't say that in the chat. Well, you know what? There's no live chat replay. Can't say what Vlad's religion is because we just talked about Michael Rappaport. So if we say that twice, it'll look like we're targeting the Orange Juliuses, okay? And we're not going to do that on this channel because I need the channel to stay alive. I've been fighting with these people for a whole year about the topics that we cover here and how we discuss them. And so I stay away from that group. I'll be honest with you. I'm not scared of it because it's just I know what they'll do if you do that. So we try not to directly say something about that religion. But people are people. Vlad is a culture vulture, and he's been doing it for years, and the black community let him do it. So I don't even blame Vlad. He found a lane, and we just let him keep driving in it. And then everybody was showing up on his things, and the regular podcasters couldn't get 50 Cent and Tony Yayo and all of these other people on their shows. But Vlad did. And now he's got this guy on here using the N-word repeatedly dumb. And nobody's checking him. So Vlad don't have the culture in mind. He's just here for a check, and he'll leave when we stop supporting this shit. So we need to stop supporting Tekashi69. We need to stop supporting Vlad TV. We need to stop supporting Michael Rappaport whenever he does anything, because he don't really do much other than just yell on the internet every while. But we need to get past this. We need to stop making stupid people famous. Depth before dishonor. You must have substance. This guy has no substance. His substance is, I'm a clown, I steal beats, and I take people's girl. That is not a role model for your children. We need to stop supporting this kind of shit. That is the bullshit. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, Vlad's supposed to be for the culture. He should have been like, hey, could you calm that down a little bit? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. These people don't love black people. They love black culture because it makes money. That's why they have the kind of music that they have. Talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine. Is because that's where the money was. He couldn't go over and do country music or do some salsa type shit. He had to go where we would allow him to go and be an idiot, because we already had enough idiots doing black music. So they said, okay, well, we'll just add another one. And they got this guy. He's a clown. He's a clown. Vlad's a clown. It's a freaking clown show. Sick of these guys. Done with them. All right. We're on our last clip. We're on our last clip here. And this one is going to make me feel a little bit better, because the last episode that we did, we were covering the Dame Dash on, was at the Breakfast Club, right? Dame Dash went on the Breakfast Club, and right after the Breakfast Club interview, a lot of people were clowning him because he said some things about owning Revolt that were untrue. Most of us knew that wasn't true. And so he got into it with Cameron. Now, those who don't know who Cameron is, he used to be a pretty popular rapper. I had a couple of songs of Cam's that I did like. Overall, he wasn't holding a flame to like Nas and Jay-Z and those guys, but he had a market. Him, Jim Jones, those guys, they had a market. I wasn't a fan, but I understand they had a market. But now, Cameron does this podcast thing with Mace, and that's where they're getting their money from, right? And so Dame Dash and Cameron got to beefing over basically him saying that Cameron was cutting him out of a deal, and he was basically making a lot of inference. And I was very upset by that, because these guys are all over 40. Dame is definitely in the 50s. So at this point, it's like, guys, what are y'all beefing about? Like, if you got money, you know, Dame Dash is living in Florida. He's got his little boat dock and all that, and he'd be on the jet ski. Like, what are you beefing with Cameron way up in New York for? Can we just live out here? Can we just enjoy life? Why are 40, 50-year-old men beefing with you? It doesn't make sense. So I will say this. I am proud of Dame Dash, and I'll tell you why. He decided to put up a post where he's basically trying to bury the beef. I'm all for burying the beef. I'm going to give Dame his little couple of minutes to explain himself, but most recent posts say that Dame Cameron will be stopping the beef. And I think that's a much better example to set for young men and the public. Grown men don't have to beef forever. Grown men don't have to shoot each other. Grown men can agree to disagree. They can have public discourse, and they can debate. So let's see what Dame has to say. Dame always got the same outfits on these days. I don't even know if these are the same flower shorts. He always got some flower stuff on. Ever since he went to Florida, it's flowers and slippers and bucket hats. That's it. So let's see what he's got to say. All right, and then we're going to get up out of here once they had this.
So, you know, I'm sitting here on the dock looking at the view, and I'm thinking, like, why am I beefing with Cam? And the only reason why is because I just never got to talk to him. He publicly said he wasn't going to talk to me, but almost every OG from Harlem and everyone I respect is like, yo, cut this shit, it's embarrassing. So, you know, Daniel spoke to Cam, and we could resolve this. I just want to talk to him, and it's over.
That's actually nice. Just wants to talk to him.
And if you need to, you know, because we can't publicly have us as black people beefing with each other. That's just what they want. They use us to tear each other down. They don't do it. We do it to ourselves, but they usually pay us to do it. And I'm not going to get caught up in that. So I prefer to squash this. I want to apologize to Harlem because I know this was embarrassing for Harlem. And I'm man enough, but, you know, the thing is, in Harlem, we deal with things different. It also comes with violence. And I can't be violent, and I won't be violent. And I don't want any of my friends to be violent.
All right, I have some questions. First of all, who's holding the camera? Moving slightly. So there's a person standing there. His audio is super clear. That means it's somewhere on that chain that he has a microphone. So he has decided that he is going to post this. He's going to go out to his little dock. He's going to hook his microphone up, get a camera person, and put this up. So yes, it is a little bit goofy to me to do all of that, because what he could have done was just reached out to Cameron and worked out the beef instead of telling us about it. But, you know, I'm just saying, I'd rather him actually have reached out to Cameron first before he came and told us about it. But whatever.
My job is to keep him out of jail. So the only way I can deal with things, to keep certain things out of the algorithm, is to answer as soon as somebody says something. And my version of violence is just lawsuits. If I could take it to the streets, I would, but we can't. And the Italian Godfather, part 2, he killed his brother. The black Godfather don't kill his brother. He teaches his brother. So, again, if y'all want to sit down and work it out, I don't even want to be a part of that project that y'all doing. I don't really understand what it is. But I feel like 50, Cam, me, if together we show that we could be beefing, pause, and then come together and maybe do a TV show together, something different, or a movie or something, just showing the world that we can work together, then we would prove everyone wrong. They love us tearing each other down, and I'm not doing that shit. And I apologize to my OGs for embarrassing you. But I just wanted to talk to him. And he finally talked that, he finally replied when I hit him with the lawsuit, and I was like, man, I'm not going to talk to Daniel. And if you want to, Daniel, if you want, please arrange us to have a sit down. You can bring who you want. And also 50, you're invited too. But instead of us talking about each other on fucking social media like clowns, let's sit down and talk like real men. Let's take this off the street. The street right now is the internet, and this shit is corny. So I don't want to fight with y'all no more. Now, I Heart, that's different. And Revolt, Batavio, same thing. You stopped replying to me 2 days before I went to the Breakfast Club, but I don't work for you. I am the chairman. When I'm on Revolt with my content, I'm the chairman because I don't talk to your staff. I talk to mine, which I have. I'm the chairman of America New when it's on Revolt. So to me, if the Breakfast, I won't get into it, but we can have a sit down too, because I'm not going to stop legally. I'm going to respond. That's what I didn't do before, and this is what I've learned. This is the only way I can fight. But you're not going to line me up and set me up. So you can come to the conversation as well. Bring who you want. Charlamagne, you're not invited. I need real men, pause, masculine. We need to speak like masculine men in each other's eyes and deal with all those problems. So I'm still, if y'all coming at me, pause, I'm going to always hit back. But I'd rather squash this, pause.
I have to give applause for that. All right. Get an applause. I ain't gonna lie. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. I'm sick of icons and people who have been in the public eye for extended periods of time beefing with each other as if they're like dudes on the street that live in the hood. You don't have to prove nothing to us from, in the hood, Dame. Cam, 50. Y'all, none of y'all got anything to prove to the rest of the world about how hood you are at 50 plus years old. You either got your stripes when you was in them streets or you didn't. But at this point, Dame is saying what a grown man would say. Look, the only way I know how to fight now is legally. He presses charges. He sues people. But he is willing to have a sit down and a conversation. And that's more than I can say for a lot of people. Most people don't even want to sit down and have a conversation. They just want to spew negativity about whomever, staying relevant to the culture, as they call it, by basically tearing each other down. And I'm tired of watching grown-ass men, black or otherwise, but especially black, because they look like me. I'm a certain age, and I see Dame, and I'm like, yo, if I was that age, which I'm not too far off from, I would not want to be beefing with this person that I've known for 30 years over something that's really, it was kind of stupid. He said he was the chairman of something. Cam was like, he's not the chairman of it. It is true he's not the chairman of the entire company. So he misspoke. But to him, he feels like he's the guy. And that's what he was trying to say. But I'm more happy to hear that he's gonna squash the beat. And I don't have time for the second clip, but the second clip was Cameron basically agreeing to the same. So we got Cameron on one side. Now at first he was like, no, it's too late, it's too late. But he came back later and said, no, we can talk this out. Because just like Dame said, the internet and everybody else would rather watch them tear each other down than to build each other up. And I think if a few grown men come together, bury the beef, go get money together, because that's what they'll do. If they did a show or planned something together, they would get money together. people would support that. I would support it. If 50 and Cameron and Dame Dash came together to say like a Bury the Beef tour or something, and they put some new artists on or whatever, other than that Nikki Licky chick, because she's whack. But you get my point. I think it was a good move for the culture. I think we've taken the gang culture too far to the fact where it became gangs and drugs, and it's just permeated the music. The music stinks now. I can't listen to it. And then we're feeding it. The kids are listening to it, but it's garbage. So maybe if they had some better examples, maybe we can let this thing go. Maybe we can let the whole gang thing go. For those that haven't watched the show, we have the, what is it, the Drop My Flag challenge that got presented. And I know in New York they're doing that. Let's get over this shit. If Dame Dash, who's been notoriously angry for like 3 decades, ever since him and Jay-Z had issues, if he's willing to say, you know what, enough is enough. Now that could be, you know, he could be in need of money. And he's like, yo, if I cut my legs off here, I'm not going to get no money. That could be it. But I'm not going to dig too deep into that because that doesn't matter to me. If they bury the beef, that's what matters. That's the example I want. I want people to see that black people can come together and not just kill each other when they don't. Because that's what the public wants to think. And the public thinks that the only way that black men deal with things is by killing each other. And so I'm all for Dame Dash, 50 Cent, Cameron, Mace, whoever, everybody but Diddy, because Diddy's still in the jail. But all those guys, man, bring them all together. Bring all the OGs back together. Bring all the New York OGs back together. Bring Ghostface Killer, Method Man, all of them back together to push for real music to return and to push out gang culture that we let creep. We let it creep in. So if we let it happen, we should be able to stop it. But we do need to want to stop it. So I believe that Dame is at least 95% authentic in what he's saying, because some of the statements that he made about like how that's what they want us to do, it's 100% right. They don't want them to not beef. They want them to tear each other down. They want Dame to say something stupid online so he can go viral and people can talk shit about him. Same with Cam. Nobody wants these men making all this money and sitting around in flower shorts and chilling all the time. Because Dame always be chilling. He's always chilling. He's always got his little flower stuff on. He always looks comfortable, which that's the life right there. Get to a certain point in life and you can just be comfortable. What more can you ask for? Dame Dash is angry, but he doesn't seem miserable. And I think that that's the key. I think that if he and Cameron can bury that beef, maybe, just maybe, him and Jay-Z could bury their beef. Because that partnership at one point was amazing. And then it just ended, and it's been beef ever since. Maybe if they bury the beef, maybe we can move on. I don't know, but I'm just hoping for the best, man. I'm really hoping for the best because I think we've had enough. Me personally, I know I've had enough. I've had enough of people killing each other. I've had enough of the same news story every day with somebody, some Atlanta rapper such and such was gunned down. I hear this shit all the time. I'm tired of it. The gang culture is not working for us, folks. And it doesn't matter what color you are. And I mean, it doesn't matter what color in the gang you are. It doesn't matter which gang you in. It doesn't work. It's not a good business plan. So maybe, just maybe, we can bury all that. I'm hoping so. Shouts to No Reply. You're right, No Reply. After you get like 40, you shouldn't be worrying about somebody, like beef. 40 years old, you beefing, man. You don't even have 5 minutes of fight in you at that age. Well, most people. Some people are in great shape in their 40s, but most people are not. So that time is over with. Save that for the youngins. But the problem is we gave the youngins gang culture. And there's no coming back from that. Only way to stop that is to stop supporting it. And I don't think there's a way to stop supporting it because our young people are. So what we have to do is, at least on the OG side, I need y'all to be a better example for these kids. And I think burying the beef is a good way to start. With that being said, just remember, you need to have depth or you will dishonor yourself. You need to have substance. You need to have morals. You need to have goals, productive things that you do, or you are a dishonorable person. If you're out here causing havoc and hurting your communities, selling drugs all over and got crackheads all over the place, you're not helping. I know you want something to eat, and I know you're trying to make your little money and all that, but it's not helping. I guarantee if we clean all this shit up, we'll find another way to make that. We'll find another way to provide. But if we keep promoting that culture, we're not going to get past this. So Dame Dash, Cameron, I hope you guys can start something even bigger than that, and really start moving it into our actual daily culture. We need help from each other, but we need to also be an example to each other. Like, some people be crashing out, but you don't have to crash out because they crash out. Might be able to lead by example, show them how to respond. But at this point, I'm really happy about that because I'm tired of watching Dame Dash beefing with people, and they all got money together, and nobody like took anybody's wife or messed with their children. Like, there's a lot of unforgivable things, right? I don't believe that Dame Dash and his crew had that. There was money involved, and a lot of people, when money gets involved, they get very sensitive. But I think that it's a resolvable beef. They're going to resolve it. I'm all for it. So nonetheless, let me get my shout outs. Let me get the hell out of here because I got things to do as usual. And I want to give a super special shout to No Reply, stopping through, hanging out for the whole podcast, which I know is hard because it's an hour and a half long. Actually, 2 hours at this point. Yeah, y'all got 2 hours out of me today. Crazy, right? So special shouts to No Reply. You get the special applause and the gong. Yep. All right, and then we'll give a couple more quick shout outs. A shout to Red Talk Anna that stopped through. Red Talk Anna has her own show that comes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's an evening show, so make sure you check her out. She did stop in early. I don't know if she's still here, but she stopped in early. I want to give a special shout to her because she's got twice the subscribers we got over here. So kind of honored to have her stop in and start commenting on our stuff. We must be on to something. Shouts to IAMZ, the beautiful IAMZ. Thank you for coming in. And of course, No Reply did most of the commenting there. I didn't see my man Albon or Purple Groovy in here today, and I am looking for them. But nonetheless, I did see Purple Groovy. Purple Groovy's at work, as usual. Purple Groovy's a hard-working person, and I appreciate you taking time out of your work day to stop by, purge the BS with us, okay? So I just want y'all to make sure that y'all remember that we are always going to be asking the hard questions over here because our goal is to make sure that we have integrity and that we have morals going forward. That's the only way we're going to get out of this. Right now, the world is doing at least America. You know what? The world is doing a dive. But we can pick this dive up. But it starts with grown men doing grown man things. It starts with us having good conversations that don't end in violence, even if we disagree. And it becomes a new mindset for the rest of the world. If we can come together, we all live here, so why not? What would be the worst that could happen if we weren't killing each other all the time? And you know what I'm saying? What's the worst that could happen if we stopped killing each other all the time? Exactly. Ain't nobody come in here and tell me that would be a net negative for the world if we stopped all the bullshit. I think we need to stop it. And the only way I can stop it is to start by purging it. So thank you guys for coming through. Thursday's show will be Scam Likely show. We're going to go in. I'm doing a deep dive on employment scams that I want y'all to look out for. So that's actually going to be an interesting one, but a lot of people don't want to hear that shit. They just want to hear beef and all of that. But I'm going to get them there. Where they want to have real conversations that will actually help their lives. That's what we do here. Because if you're not doing the real stuff and trying to help your life, and you're not trying to help your fellow man, at least the ones that that want the help, or even the ones that don't want the help. If you're out here just causing havoc, creating problems, starting beef, wilding out, crashing out, doing all that goofy bullshit, then you are part of the problem. And you will be purged. We will find you, and you will be purged. You do not get to just walk around here and make our lives worse because you got issues. We can all come together and figure this thing out. But it starts first by at least admitting that it wouldn't be a bad thing if we stopped all the bullshit, right? So nonetheless, guys, I do appreciate y'all. But the Thursday show, make sure you're here, 11 o'clock a.m. We're off this Saturday, so we're not doing the Saturday show this week. I will be traveling. I might do some IRL content or whatever. I don't know. Nothing scheduled, though. But make sure you jump on the Discord, which I don't have the link for right now. I thought I had it, but I don't have it. So if you don't jump on the Discord and you're not here on Thursday, then that, my friends, is the bullshit. Peace.